Before we begin, just a brief background of what we will do and why. Just above the head, the point at the top of the head, we call the center the Sahasrara, the seventh chakra, is where the individual consciousness opens out to a universal consciousness. And it is from here that all the higher ranges of consciousness begin to be accessible. Of course, everything is everywhere, but the center of the consciousness is beginning from here upwards. And it is here also, opening from here, that we open to a vast ocean of peace, which is always there. It is the peace of the self, power of the self, light of the self, presence of the self, but opening out into the universe, cosmos, and beyond. So we will concentrate here, just at the top of the head. And when we shift our attention there, after a while, one opens, one becomes conscious of this zone of peace, and we will remain conscious of it for a while. Perhaps you may feel yourself gently rising into it, drifting into it, and then gradually we will bring it down. Step by step, we will follow the peace as it enters into the head and all the way down into the whole being. These are the two centers of concentration which are most important in this yoga. The other center is in the center of the heart, behind the emotions, which opens to the cyclic presence. And this center which opens into the higher ranges of consciousness above the intellect. So today we will focus on this. If you like, you may briefly touch the top of the head here in the center, just so you have a sensation. That's enough, just touch it. And you may use the attention on the sensation as a focal point. That's enough, just a brief touch is enough. You don't need to do more. Okay. Close your eyes. Let go from your mind all the worries of the world. As you take a deep breath and relax your body and relax your mind, and gently bring all your attention towards the top of the head. Gather all your awareness towards the top of the head, at that center where you briefly touched the head. Use the sensation of the touch as a reference point to gently, gradually gather all your awareness at the top of the head. Until you feel yourself almost entirely centered at the top of the head. Remain there for a while, gently turning your attention upwards, as if a hole opening at the top of the head, opening upwards to the vast ocean of peace and the presence above. Let your attention remain dwelling on the vast presence above the head. And as you remain aware of it, perhaps you feel it grow more dense, like a dense peace, a dense presence, a dense, a vast ocean. Remain conscious of this dense, vast ocean of peace and presence above the head. And gently, very gradually, let it settle at the top of the head, as if a gentle pressure settling at the top of the head, as if a tiny extension of the ocean leaning downwards, slowly settling at the head and gently penetrating through the top of the head. Let the peace above the head gently settle and slowly penetrate through the top of the head, as if a dense liquid peace slowly flowing down through the hole at the top of the head and gently spreading through your brain, spreading a soothing, perhaps cooling sensation as it gently flows like a dense liquid, spreading through the top of your brain, and gently flowing down to fill your entire brain and spreading to fill your entire head with its dense, soothing peace. And gently gather your attention once again at the top of the head, opening upwards to the vast, dense ocean of peace, becoming conscious of its vastness, of its denseness. And gently let a fresh stream of that peace flow down through the top of the head like a dense liquid peace, slowly spreading to fill your entire brain, spreading a soothing, perhaps cooling sensation, and flowing down into the entire head, spreading downwards, perhaps filling and surrounding the head, until slowly it begins to spread down into the throat, gently spreading, filling the throat, perhaps surrounding the throat. spreading a soothing, cooling sensation. And then slowly spreading further down into the chest. And now once again gather your attention at the top of the head, becoming conscious of the vast ocean of dense peace. And gently let a fresh stream of that peace flow down in one continuous movement, filling and perhaps surrounding your head, spreading down into the neck and then into the chest, spreading a soothing, cooling, dense peace. Spreading out through your entire chest. Like a dense liquid spreading everywhere, soothing, cooling perhaps. And gently let it flow through your shoulders into your arms. Flowing down through the upper arms, through the elbows, into the forearms, spreading a dense, soothing, cooling sensation. And slowly spreading into your hands, filling and surrounding your hands, palm, fingers, with its soothing, dense, cooling liquid. Until you feel your entire hands filled with this dense presence and peace, filling your hands, surrounding with a dense peace, as if your hands are heavier from its denseness. And let the tissue of your hands soak in this peace. Let the peace fuse into your hands. And gently, once again, let your awareness gather towards the top of the head. Bringing all your attention at the top of the head, in this center, this hole, this passage which opens upwards, opening to the vast ocean of peace, presence, power above the head. Let your awareness gently drift upwards into that vastness, allowing yourself to dissolve into that vast. Remaining immersed for a while in that sense of vastness, losing yourself in it. Let all sense of separateness dissolve into that vast ocean of presence, of peace. And then gently from this vast ocean, like a wave slowly gathering and swelling, let your awareness slowly gather and gradually turn towards the form below of your head and your body. And gently let this swell of the wave of peace flow down through the top of the head, filling and surrounding the head. Gently let your attention drift downwards and let a wave of this peace slowly flow down through the top of the head, filling, surrounding, perhaps even dissolving the head as it spreads down through the head and neck and chest and arms, gently flowing down through the chest into the abdomen, spreading a soothing, cooling, dense peace, filling and surrounding the abdomen. Stilling all disturbance, purifying, harmonizing with its peace, and gently flowing down into the hips, into the thighs, down into the knees, and calves, a wave of gentle moving peace settling all the way down to the feet, filling and surrounding the legs with its dense presence and peace, until you feel your entire body filled with this dense presence and peace, like a marble statue. Filled with a dense, unshakable peace. And let your whole being soak in this peace. Let the peace fuse into all the substance and tissue of your whole being, that it may be established permanently in every part of your being, filling and surrounding your whole body. Notice that your body is naturally still, your emotions are naturally quiet, and your mind is naturally silent, effortlessly. You can think if you want, but if you choose not to think, the mind is happy to be silent, effortlessly. And your whole being, filled and surrounded with this peace, opens upwards to the vast ocean above of peace, presence, power, and light of the self, of the divine. And let your whole being remain upwardly turned in a quiet aspiration to receive the divine peace, the divine presence, and to give itself to that entirely and exclusively. And from deep within your heart, let your deepest aspiration turn upwards to the divine presence, to the divine mother above you, around you, and within you, offering yourself silently in gratitude and in love. Remaining conscious of the peace that fills your whole being, conscious of the aspiration deep within your heart. Gently now, you may let your eyes open, keeping your attention inward. Continue to feel the peace within you, around you, even with your eyes open. Notice that even with your eyes open, you may choose not to think and your mind remains silent. You're simply aware of the peace filling you, perhaps aware of the presence above, aware of the aspiration within. Remain simply aware. You will notice in the next few hours that the peace will remain inside you, even when you're not conscious of it. If you simply turn your attention to it, you will find it is still there. And perhaps through to the evening, even when you go to sleep, you can simply turn your attention within and you will feel it is there. Because as we felt it, it is a substance which is right now settled in us. And if we take care to maintain it, it stays, it even grows. It's an important distinction we make between silence and peace in the yoga. Silence is absence of activity. It's a negation of something. But peace is a positive power and substance of the self. And when the peace settles, it automatically brings stillness wherever it comes. Silence cannot remain in activity because it is the opposite of activity. But peace can remain even in activity because it's the foundation. And that's why the establishment of the peace in the whole being is a foundation for all the rest that descends from above. You may remain for a while with eyes open or closed as you like, remaining immersed in this. If there are any questions, you may ask. Or if you prefer to remain silent, we can discuss tomorrow.
What do we do with it once it's inside?
To retain it, to hold it. When you're conscious and you hold it consciously, it remains in you. In the Veda, your whole being is described like a jar in which the soma pours from above. But if the jar is unbaked, it breaks. It cannot contain the soma. The soma is the divine delight. And the foundation for strengthening the jar is the peace. And so it's like clay which is being shaped and strengthened, and the peace settling in the nerves, in the tissue, strengthens the whole being and makes it capable of receiving all the rest that will pour down from above. The light, the knowledge, the power, the ananda, all of these will follow later. But the peace is the first foundation. So to hold it, to remain conscious of it. And now as you will move to the further activities, if you can remain based in this awareness of the peace within you, Or even if you're lost in the activity, whenever there's a break, return to this awareness and hold it. These are the ways by which you train the whole being to retain and not to disperse, not to spill. You avoid loose talk, you avoid dissipating activities, and keep this in a concentrated state. This is one side of the work. The other side is to fuse it into the tissue. You literally will it to merge, to join, to fuse. And that actually changes physiologically the working of your body, tissue, and cells. And you teach the body to receive and to contain and to hold it, so that eventually it becomes a permanent part of your being.
Can we visualize Mother and Sri Aurobindo?
Yes, you may surely visualize if it helps you. The only difficulty with visualization is that one gets lost in picturing and one loses focus on the experience itself very often. I suggest generally to not try to visualize but to feel. Feel the presence. Images may form naturally, but you don't put attention on the image, but you feel the contact rather. And that's much more important. Because one can create pictures. Pictures may lead to contact, but what is important is the contact, not the picture. Spontaneously, images will form because it is her force, it is her consciousness, and you will feel her, see her. We don't start with visualization.
Go downstairs. Next session.